Hey, so today we are looking at what happens at the end of George Washington's time as president. First, we need to look at two vocab words. One is political parties. This is groups of people who believe the same thing and work together to get themselves elected into government. So, if a lot of people believed that the government should help businesses, they could start a political party and work together to get themselves elected so they could make the government do what they believed, which was to help businesses. But if a lot of people believed that the government should not help businesses, that group could also start their own political party. The next word is neutrality. Neutrality is when a country stays out of other countries' business. So neutrality is if two countries start to fight and a third country says, I don't want to get involved in this fight. I'm going to mind my own business. That is neutrality, staying out of other countries' business. So George Washington served 2 terms as president. That meant he was president for 8 years. He was so popular, nobody wanted to run against him because they knew they would lose. The two most powerful men in his cabinet, so if you remember, the cabinet are the people who give the president advice, were Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton. They did not like each other. Thomas Jefferson believed that the federal government, the government that runs the whole United States, should be small and that landowners like him should have most of the power. So this is a picture of Thomas Jefferson on his farm. His farm was called Monticello. If you look at the picture, pay attention to who is working and who is not. The only person in this picture Thomas Jefferson wanted to give power to was Thomas Jefferson, since he was the one who owned the land. Alexander Hamilton disagreed with him. Alexander Hamilton thought the federal government should be large, so the government that runs the United States should be large, and he believed that it should help bankers and businessmen like him. He disagreed with Thomas Jefferson and thought that even if you didn't own land, you should have power because bankers and businessmen like him might have money, but they didn't own land. George Washington usually sided with Alexander Hamilton. Then something changed. In 1796, George Washington decided to not run for a third term as president. So he decided being president 2 times in a row was enough. He would not do it a third time. He announced his retirement. Retirement is when you stop doing a job because you got old, in his farewell address. So, a farewell address is just a big fancy goodbye speech. In his speech, he gave advice to the United States. He said America should not have political parties because they would cause the country to split apart. And he said that the United States should stay neutral and stay out of other countries' wars. In the picture here, you can tell everyone's really sad that George Washington's stepping aside. But even though they were sad to see him go, Hamilton and Jefferson did not follow his advice. They started political parties. Alexander Hamilton called his the Federalist Party, and Thomas Jefferson called his the Democratic Republicans. For a while, the two parties fought for control, but in 1804, Alexander Hamilton died in a duel. This left the Democratic Republicans as the main party in the United States. Alright, that's it for this video. I'll talk to you later.